Hello everyone. In this video, I would like to talk to you about Module 8, Week 8, what to expect and some of your responsibilities. This week is actually the week when we would have completed, by the end of the week, the first half of the semester. So that means in another 8 weeks, the semester will be over. Now, you should have an idea of how you're doing in this class. And this means that you get to see a midterm grade. However, the course is not over, so whatever grade you get by midterm is not your final grade. It's not uncommon when students have a midterm grade and they just disappeared when the final semester. So whatever midterm grade you get does not determine your final grade. It just shows you where you are. So if you're not satisfied with your midterm grade, just look at the work you've completed and did not complete in the class, because that should tell you where you are. Notwithstanding, there will be opportunities for you to do better. I will try to have an extra credit opportunity, and I will let you guys know what that is as the semester progresses. So the midterm, by the end of this week, we would have completed 8 weeks in the course. There is going to be a midterm survey which I will release at some point. I'm not going to release it until I release your rhetorical analysis assignment, because so far you have an idea of how you're doing in the class, and you probably have some questions, thoughts, and I'm happy to receive your comments and questions. Before I do so, I also want to mention something that is of interest that would be of interest likely to you all. I think particularly for those of you who have had issues turning in work on time. I know those of you who have certain accommodations, and by accommodation you have some sort of disability that prevents you from that interferes with your learning. Now, with the exception of those, those are the ones that I grant specific. They have accommodation letters that I have to work with them in order for them to turn in work. So if you don't fall into that category, but if you're having some issue or the other that is preventing you from turning in work on time, you need to let me know. Don't pretend as if nothing happened and then just submit the work and expect me to grade it. I don't have to grade. I could penalize the work, but if you look at the syllabus policy, the penalty could be very stringent. Particularly for learning activities, I'm not supposed to grade. Learning activities are not completed by the due dates. I'm not supposed to grade them. But it's up to my prerogative to grade them, but I'm not really supposed to grade them. So even if I've given you a grace period when you turn in something really late and for a particular learning activity, don't take that as a given for you to be turning in work all the time late. And if you're in that category, you know yourself. I want to address this because as the midterm approaches, some of you might be thinking about your grade, which is not a final grade. I hope you're not thinking that it's a final grade. So I want to calm you down to say that whatever grade you get in midterm, I'll say it again, it's not your final grade. It just shows you where you are. So you shouldn't be panicking. I'm not done grading, but I will be. I think I've graded most of your work, with the exception of the rhetorical analysis. Now, I'm still working on that because it's been very hectic for me. I have a conference coming up, and so that has taken much of my time because I have to present and I have to do some research. The conference is going to be in California. Well, having said that, I want to talk to you about your rhetorical analysis assignment. I'm almost done. I have a couple more papers before I finish, but I'll be finishing with them this week. And once I'm finished with this rhetorical analysis grading, I should release the comments for you all to see, and you should have it before Wednesday. Having said that, I want to mention that there are some trends I saw across your rhetorical analysis paper. When I release the grade, I will let you guys know of those trends and some of the issues. There were some exceptional papers. I would acknowledge that, and I will reach out to those students in that category so you can see what your peers did. So I'm not just randomly grading, I'm using a rubric, I'm reading through your paper, so that takes me a lot of time. So I hope when you get my feedback comments, you read through these comments and you kind of get a sense of what your instructor has seen in your writing. You got feedback from your peers, but now it's a chance for you to see what your instructor sees in your writing. Okay, having said that, let's go into week 8. So this is the overview for week 8 checklist. Once I'm done recording this video, you should be able to see my own video recording. I will post it somewhere here. This is what you're supposed to do in the week. So you've got some readings to complete, as well as some activities. So apply, create a working outline, create connections to develop a thesis, and midterm feedback survey, which I'll release at the time when I've released your rhetorical analysis essay. Because what I found out is that sometimes when students they use that feedback, it's for me, but at the same time I want you to have an idea of how you're doing before you make comments on the midterm survey. Having said that, I want to talk about the quiz. Quiz 5 is due at the end of the day, so complete this quiz. And if you don't see your grade pop up, that's because there's some syncing issues that I have to make sure that this is taken care of. But whatever grade you've gotten, just know that it was preserved and I have it there. So you shouldn't be panicking. Sometimes I get panic email from students. So if you complete the quiz, I should receive it. Having said that, I want to talk to you about your discussion activity. It's create connections and develop a thesis. So you should follow the prompts and make sure you scroll down to read through the instructions, what is expected of you, including how you embed an image, take a screenshot. You've got to respond to at least 2 of your classmates. Since these are, so you responded to 2 of your classmates, so that should give you an idea of what you need to do. Hopefully, if you don't get good feedback, that's fine, but I hope most of your classmates are reading through your work, and also you questioning yourself about what other people are doing and also what you did, and hopefully you see good enough examples to help you when you compose your draft. So again, we are going to have peer review in the following week, so whatever feedback you get, just take it and process it and consider it, even if you don't like it. Maybe there's some value in the feedback. You are also going to, after completing the discussion board post, you're going to apply, create a working outline. In other words, how do you intend to write this paper? Are you just going to jump right into it? So you need to submit an outline, and that I will grade it. So don't just make up something, just read through the instructions. Follow the example you see in the textbook. There's a hyperlink on creating an outline for several examples, which I just clicked on. Okay. Now, once you do that, you should be in good hands. The outline is the way I always tell my students. Students who have a very creative mindset always tell me, I don't like creating outlines because it hinders my creativity. Well, think of an outline as some sort of templates that helps you to think through what your thoughts are as you plan your essay. Now, I have to admit that as a writer, I don't always use an outline, but depending on what the stakes are, sometimes I create an outline and I focus on them. Otherwise, if I don't use an outline, I have multiple or several drafts. But anyway, this doesn't apply to you because the instructions for you to create an outline. Because creating an outline helps you stay organized, and you'll get some my comments, but some of you are struggling with organization issues when it comes to writing. I could see it in your rhetorical analysis essay, and it is a real struggle for some. So if you are in that category, if you have like ideas all over the place, and some of you are, creating an outline is one way to get you very structured in your writing, so that it's focused. Okay, having said that, and once you complete that, you should be done for the activities for the week. The next would be the feedback for the midterm survey. It's anonymous. I cannot see it. Actually, no, I can see it, but I wouldn't see the person's name. But however, it's helpful. Feel free to share your thoughts. But I always, this is not a final assessment of the class or anything. It's good to know how students are thinking about it. But as you do so, I just want to encourage you to be transparent and honest about your work. Rather than seeking to blame people, just be honest about your situation. I like students who are honest and tell the truth. But students who just blame things on everybody, I know that, this is not me. This is an issue they're dealing with. Okay. So that said, I want to say it's been great I want to thank you all for making it this far, 8 weeks. I know that many of you have a hectic schedule and you're juggling other responsibilities. This online class I know is boring, and that's why I put on my video so you can see me that I'm recording a live video from my office, and I want you to know that I'm there. I said it before and I'll say it again. Depending on how the semester goes and depending on how you guys are interested, I might have some sort of get together for students at the end of the semester. It's going to be on campus, okay? But it's going to be student led, and so I will see how interested you guys are. I'll probably send out a survey to everyone. All right. Having said that, I want to wish you guys the best week and enjoy the rest of your week. Whatever assignments, homework, activities, plans you have, good luck with that. And I will be in touch again. Bye bye.